Jim, do you have an India story? Because you spent some years in while growing up in Australia, then you came back to India, then you again went to the US, where you were also working for a while, right?
For a year.
Yeah, yeah. But then again, you chose to return to India, and now you have a lovely career unfolding here. So, like, what what prompted that decision to come back to India, and then?
I'm Indian. So I could have stayed in the States. I was offered a job actually at the theatre that I was working at there. It was the Alliance Theatre, a lovely theatre. Susan Booth was the artistic director at the time, a very, very, very talented theatre director. She brought the first Emmy to Georgia because as she was running the Alliance Theatre, she Emmy, right? Emmy? No. Tony. She brought the first Tony to Georgia for the Alliance Theatre. She was the artistic director there, and she taught a directing class at Emory because Emory was such a good school, gave you so many opportunities. I took a directing class. At the end of the directing class, I didn't know what I was going to do for the 1 year afterwards. A teacher who was very fond of me brought it up at a staff meeting, which Susan Booth happened to be at, and she was like, "Oh, I'll give him a job. Send him to the Alliance to interview." So I went and interviewed there. She gave me a job as a literary intern at the Alliance, so I could spend that extra year doing that, and the hours were very flexible, which was fantastic. It meant I could act as well on the side. They cast me in one of their plays that year as well, which was fantastic because 1 year out of college doing a play at the Alliance was like dream come true, for most theatre actors over there. And as the year came to an end, she was about to start directing a play, and I was supposed to do the dramaturgy for the play, which is like you go and you look up information that an actor or somebody working on the play may want to read to do further research. So I read the play that she was going to be directing, and then I did some research, and then I found a couple books that I thought worked well with, would help somebody who was trying to get into that world. I illegally went to the Emory University, borrowed those books, photocopied them, returned the books, and made like this binder of what I thought. I gave her the binder. She looked at the binder, and she was like, "Who told you to get these books?" I was like, "I don't know. I read the play. I thought they were appropriate for the thing." She was like, "Okay, you want to be my assistant for the next play, for this play?" I was like, the thing is, I've already booked my tickets. I'm going back to India. Because I had felt that, again, I spent my childhood, a lot of my, at least the formative years of my childhood, not in India. Then I was in such a specific situation, which is I was in a Bombay International for a few years. Then I was at the American School of Bombay. I felt I didn't know India. I hadn't got to know it. I didn't know it. I was a kid. I went to school and I went to play. I didn't know anything about where I was actually from. So I wanted to come back and work here and see how that develops. And so yeah, it's really that simple, I guess. And then I did theatre for 4 years. And then I got cast in Nirja. And then Nirja came out, and here I am. Do you want to add anything to my story?
Well said. Nothing to add to your story.
But if you have to act in another real life character, which one would you choose? Can I say that, I first saw Jim in Okay Tata Bye Bye.
Oh, yeah.
And Jim
That was my first play in Bombay.
Yes. And Jim is like there are a bunch of women.
Right.
And everybody finds Jim very desirable or handsome.
Right.
So, yeah.
Yeah, you can surely say. Why not?
So, how about creating something where,
I'm desirable.
which you have done?
Please make something.